Hi, welcome to the Crypto Republic. Before we begin today, if you're serious about staying ahead in this once-in-a-lifetime financial shift, make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. Hello, XRP Army, and welcome back to the Crypto Republic, your go-to channel for the latest high-energy updates in digital assets. Before we get started with today's business, make sure to smash that like button, ring that bell, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic, bringing you updates every day at 9 a.m., noon, and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's cut through the noise for a moment, because what I'm about to break down isn't just another market update. It's an analysis of a structural shift in the financial world. A quiet yet massive event has just gone live, centered on one of the most significant digital assets on the planet, XRP. The doors for financial, institutional capital have been opened. The trillion-dollar players are now in the game, ladies and gentlemen. But while most of the retail market was distracted by short-term price, they completely missed the real story. But before we go any further, I need to be absolutely clear. This is not financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. The digital asset market is highly volatile and carries significant risk. You should always conduct your own thorough research, ladies and gentlemen, and consult with a certified financial professional before making any investment decisions always. Always remember, my goal here is to share my analysis. What you do with that information, well, is entirely your responsibility. Now, let's get into it and break it down. So the institutional analysis. All right, let's get straight to the facts. Spot XRP ETFs are now a reality. We're seeing financial titans, firms that manage immense global capital, officially enter the arena. We're talking about Franklin Templeton launching their fund under the ticker XRPZ. We have Grayscale, the largest digital asset manager, with their GXRP. Bitwise and Canary Capital are also making their moves. This is a coordinated entry by serious players. Now, here's what's happened that caused so much confusion, folks. Immediately after the launch, we saw a pullback, a classic sell the news reaction. The price saw a significant dip, and the online chatter, folks, it was filled with panic. People saw red and assumed it was over. But from an institutional perspective, well, that price action was interpreted as a sign of market health. It was textbook shakeout, clearing out short-term speculators. These speculators, critically, the price established a higher low on the daily chart. In technical analysis, this is often seen as a signal of underlying structural strength. It suggests the market is building a foundation, folks, before its next potential move. Now, if you're feeling skeptical, that's good. It means you're thinking critically. We don't have to rely on guesswork here, folks. We have a powerful historical precedent. The spot Bitcoin ETF launch. When the Bitcoin ETFs launched, the exact same narratives were being pushed. It's priced in. The buying is all over the counter. It won't affect the market. Many analysts were doubtful. And what was the result? A colossal price appreciation followed, folks. The ETFs facilitated over $60 billion of inflows, validating Bitcoin as an institutional-grade asset. But here's the critical difference. The key piece of this analysis, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin's rally was driven by its digital gold narrative, a store of value. It's a powerful story, but it's a passive one. XRP's narrative is built on something different. Utility, folks. Ripple is actively working with global institutions to solve the real-world problem of cross-border payments. So when you consider the proven market impact of a spot ETF and apply it to an asset with a deep utility-focused narrative, it presents a very compelling case for analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's quickly demystify how these institutions acquire such large amounts of XRP. You'll hear the term OTC, or over-the-counter. When a firm like Franklin Templeton needs millions of XRP, they don't buy it on a public exchange. That would create massive price spikes. Instead, they use an OTC desk, which is like a private broker for huge trades. Skeptics argue that because this happens off exchange, it doesn't create real buying pressure. This interpretation misunderstands a key market dynamic, ladies and gentlemen. Every single XRP purchase via an OTC deal for an ETF is an XRP that is removed from the general circulating supply. It's placed into secure custody to back that ETF shares. Think of it this way, okay? Even if you quietly remove a large portion of a limited commodity from the available market, the scarcity of what remains increases. Basic economics suggests that when supply decreases, while demand remains steady or grows, it creates powerful upward pressure on the asset's price. It's a classic supply shock scenario, ladies and gentlemen. So how can we synthesize this information, you might be asking? Well, it's a reasonable analytical outlook for the next year. What is a reasonable analytical outlook for the next year? This ETF launch should be viewed as the starting point, not the destination. It marks the beginning of a new phase of institutional access. If we use the Bitcoin ETF launch as a model, and remember past performance is not indicative of future results, we can project what might be possible. Applying a similar model to XRP, with its different market cap and utility, a potential price movement in the 200 to 300% range emerges as a plausible scenario over the next 12 months, folks. This is an analytical projection, not a guarantee. Furthermore, there's another potential catalyst on the horizon. Regulatory clarity, legislation like the Clarity Act aims to provide a clear framework for digital assets, which could remove the final barrier for more conservative institutions to enter the space, folks. The key takeaway here is that the market may still be pricing XRP based on past regulatory uncertainty, not on its future with newly established institutional on-ramps. Look, moments of significant market change are rare. We are witnessing the legitimization of a next-generation financial asset by the traditional financial world, folks. The data points are clear for analysis. 1, a historical precedent. 2, institutional validation. 3, supply shock mechanics. And 4, a potential regulatory catalyst. The risk-reward profile for this asset has fundamentally changed. This is why I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. I will continue to track the ETF data and provide objective analysis as this story unfolds. My goal is to keep you informed, ladies and gentlemen. If you appreciate this type of analysis, go down to the comments and write institutional analysis for me. And please hit that like button. It helps the channel immensely. The world of finance can often feel complex, but every so often, a signal cuts through the price. But every so often, a signal cuts through the noise. The launch of the XRP spot ETFs is a powerful signal. It's an acknowledgement from Wall Street that the future of finance involves digital assets, and that XRP is positioned to be a key part of that conversation. A great repricing of assets is a theme of our time, ladies and gentlemen. The important thing is to stay informed. Stay critical and understand the forces that are shaping our financial future. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a licensed financial advisor. Remember, the game is changing, and those who understand it first will benefit most. Make sure you're on the right side of it. You have two choices. You can be like the crowd, reacting after the move, rationalizing why they missed it, telling themselves they'll never let it happen again, or you can be the ones who saw behind the curtain, the one who understood the infrastructure shift, the one who positioned early, not randomly, but intentionally. Because some moments in history are loud, but the ones that change everything are quiet, right up until the moment they're not. And this is one of those moments. Do not blink, because the world is distracting you with noise, while XRP continues developing behind the scenes and building momentum in the broader digital asset landscape. Stay sharp, stay informed, accumulate knowledge. Your move now will be remembered. This is not the end of the story, ladies and gentlemen. This is just the beginning. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button, ring the bell, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Turn on notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the Crypto Republic. We break down the major global banking trends, shaping digital assets today, giving you context, clarity, and research you can use. Don't just watch history happen. Stay informed, stay ahead, and stay in the Republic.